Hey folks, welcome to this epic highlight overview of the 2026 FIFA World Cup opener. Mexico versus South Africa, live from the legendary Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. I'm your host, bringing you all the thrills, spills, and drama from what turned out to be a historic night under the lights. The atmosphere was electric. Over 80,000 passionate fans packed the Azteca, the very same stadium where legends were made back in '86. Mexico, as co-hosts, were desperate to shake off their poor record in World Cup openers. South Africa, ranked lower but full of fight, were looking to repeat their gritty 2010 draw against these same opponents. But tonight, it was all about El Tri making history. Before kickoff, the opening ceremony lit up the night with massive performances. Shakira and Burna Boy got the crowd roaring, turning the stadium into a cauldron of noise and color. Flags waving, fireworks exploding, pure World Cup magic. Then the referee Wilton Pereira Sampaio blew the whistle, and we were underway in Group A. Right from the start, Mexico took control. They dominated possession and pressed high, making it tough for Bafana to breathe. South Africa tried to stay compact, but in the 9th minute, boom! The first goal of the entire 2026 World Cup. Eric Lira won the ball in midfield after a South African defensive mix-up. He slid it through, and Julian Quinones, the man who lit up the Saudi League, finished it beautifully with a low strike past goalkeeper Ronwin Williams. 1-0 Mexico! The Azteca erupted. Quinones, born in Colombia but now a Mexican hero, had scored the tournament's opening goal. What a moment! Mexico kept pushing. Roberto Alvarado and Brian Gutierrez were causing problems on the wings. Raul Jimenez was a constant threat up top. South Africa looked dangerous on the counter with players like Lyle Foster and Thibaut Mokoena, but Mexico's defense, led by Cesar Montes and others, held firm. Tempers started to flare as the half went on. South Africa came out looking to fight, but just 5 minutes after the restart, disaster struck for Bafana. Svepolo Sithole took down Brian Gutierrez as he raced toward goal. It was a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Straight red card! South Africa down to 10 men in the 49th minute. The pressure was now overwhelming. Mexico smelled blood. They kept the tempo high, with Roberto Alvarado delivering dangerous crosses and the midfield trio of Eric Lira, Alvaro Fidalgo, and Brian Gutierrez controlling the game. Raul Jimenez, the veteran striker, was hungry for his first World Cup goal. Around the 67th minute, the moment the crowd had been waiting for arrived. A beautiful ball from the right by Roberto Alvarado found Raul Jimenez completely unmarked at the far post. Jimenez rose like a king and powered a header into the net. 2-0 Mexico! The Azteca exploded in celebration. Jimenez, with his 46th international goal, finally had his World Cup moment. El Tri were cruising, but the drama wasn't over. With South Africa fighting desperately, despite being a man down, tempers boiled over. In the 84th minute, substitute Themba Zwane was shown a straight red card for violent conduct. Now down to 9 men! Mexico had total dominance, but South Africa refused to roll over completely. Even with the numerical advantage, Mexico kept pushing forward. Substitutes like Gilberto Mora and Luis Chavez added fresh legs, while Julian Quinones continued to torment the defense. The home fans were chanting non-stop, sensing a statement win. All right, we're back for part 3. Mexico was leading 2-0 after Raul Jimenez's powerful header, and South Africa was battling on with just 9 men. But the chaos was far from over. Even with the numerical disadvantage, South Africa showed incredible heart. Players like Thibaut Mokoena and Lyle Foster tried to create something on the counter, but Mexico's defense stayed solid. The home crowd was in full voice, singing and waving flags non-stop. Over 114,000 fans turning the Azteca into an absolute fortress. Then, in the 84th minute, more controversy struck. Substitute Themba Zwane was shown a straight red card for violent conduct after catching Roberto Alvarado in the face, confirmed by VAR. Bafana down to 9 men. The referee Wilton Pereira Sampaio had his hands full in what was becoming one of the most dramatic opening matches in World Cup history. Mexico continued to dominate possession and create chances, but they weren't finished with the discipline issues either. Deep into stoppage time, in the 90+2 minute, defender Cesar Montes went in clumsily on Kuliso Mudau near the edge of the box. Straight red card for Montes! Mexico finished the game with 10 men, but it didn't matter. They were in total control. Seconds later, the referee blew the full-time whistle. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. El Tri had finally broken their long winless streak in World Cup opening games, their first victory on match day 1 since 1986. The stadium erupted as players and fans celebrated together. Julian Quinones, who scored the tournament's first ever goal, was named man of the match for his electric performance. Raul Jimenez was emotional after his goal, a special moment for the veteran who dedicated it in tribute to his late father. This result gives Mexico a perfect start in Group A, while South Africa faces an uphill battle with key suspensions for Sithole and Zwane. Welcome back to the final part of this epic highlight overview. What a night it was. Mexico walked away with a 2-0 victory, but this match will be remembered for the drama, the goals, and those 3 red cards that turned it into pure chaos. Let's break down the full stats that tell the story. Mexico dominated possession at around 61%, firing off 18 attempts with 5 on target. South Africa managed just 4 shots, struggling to create clear chances once they went down to 9 men. El Tri had 11 corners to South Africa's 1, and goalkeeper Ronwin Williams was forced into several key saves to keep the score respectable. Player of the match? No doubt, Julian Quinones. The man who scored the very first goal of the entire tournament in the 9th minute was everywhere, creating, pressing, and tormenting the South African defense. Raul Jimenez's header in the 67th minute was emotional gold, especially as he dedicated it to his late father. What a moment for the veteran! On the discipline side, it was wild. Svepolo Sithole saw red for South Africa in the 49th minute. Later, Themba Zwane brought them down to 9. Even Mexico weren't immune. Cesar Montes picked up a late red in stoppage time. 3 reds in one opening match. Historic stuff. Post-match reactions were electric. Mexico coach Javier Agura praised his team's intensity. This is the start we needed. The crowd was incredible, and the players showed heart. South Africa's coach expressed disappointment, but highlighted the fight despite the cards. We competed, but discipline let us down tonight. Julian Quinones was humble in interviews, calling the opening goal a dream come true for every Mexican fan. In Group A, this puts Mexico on top with 3 points and a strong goal difference. South Africa starts with 0, facing tough tests ahead. And that's the full story from this unforgettable night at the Azteca. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. A statement win filled with passion, drama, and history. What did you think of the match? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. Subscribe for more World Cup highlights, scripts, and breakdowns, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Until the next match, this is your host signing off. Vamos Mexico, and peace out, folks!